Hey kids, sit up and pay attention. It's time for Retrorific! Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Retrorific.
Woo! Yeah! Hardcore! I'm sorry.
And today we are going to talk about Dr. Horrible's...
And his sing-along blog!
Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog, which is written by...
God, man, genius, amazing person... I forgot his name again, damn it.
Joss Whedon.
Yes.
Written by Joss Whedon. Written, you said, during the writer's strike.
It was, yeah. I think this is a really fascinating kind of story behind what is a great piece of art. Basically, during the writer's strike, he got bored, went through his little black book, which you can imagine being Joss Whedon is quite considerable.
Yeah.
Got some mates together, including his brother, who I believe composed most of the music, while Joss Whedon wrote the words. Basically said, this is an idea I've had since Buffy, since that musical episode. Let's do a musical about a supervillain. Yeah. And it kind of kicked off from there. It's become an internet phenomenon. He released it as webisodes, so that way he wasn't portraying the writer's strike. Was completely not done for profit, that is now available on DVD.
Yeah.
We both watched it online, so...
I have to say, I hadn't seen it. I had heard a lot about it, and I hadn't seen it until you showed it to me.
Yeah.
And I was very impressed. Very, very impressed.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that if someone does something as a job, then you get a lot of respect for them.
Yeah.
If someone does something as a hobby as well,
Exactly.
you get even more respect for them, and I think that's what really shone through. There's a few critiques of it. Yeah, it's not always good. You can sometimes tell it was done on like, I'm just going to pay for this out of my own pocket.
I like the fact that it's a musical. I see, when I heard the title Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog, I had this completely different image in my mind of what it was. I thought the whole thing was done as a blog, and that's what I expected it to be. And I mean, the first 20 seconds of it is like
you
that.
do think it's going to be that, and for a bit you're thinking like, okay, this isn't really going anywhere.
Yeah, and then it just becomes this whole separate thing.
You know, Dr. Horrible really isn't that kind of engrossing at first.
Yeah.
Then you realise that's part of his charm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the point. The songs. What do you think of the songs?
The songs I thought were amazing. Brand New Day is a personal favourite of mine. It's a brand new day, I got no remorse. We're going to cut out any bits of karaoke that do happen, so hopefully that will be missed.
We'll show clips of the episode instead of having you sing them.
It's a brand new day and the sun is high. All the birds are singing that you're gonna die.
I was very impressed with the songs, having grown up with a mother... out of the shot here. Having grown up with a mother who's a singer, very well written.
Yeah. The music works really well.
The music is really good. I mean, even though the songs themselves are comical, the music is just so competently written, and... It
reminds me a lot of... if you remember John Carpenter's little B-movies from the 80s.
I mean, it reminds me so much as well of obviously, Once More With Feeling, the Buffy musical episode. Because essentially, it exists in the same category as that. Yeah. And if you have seen that episode and you did enjoy it, then watch Dr. Horrible, because it's amazing.
I think that goes to the same with all of Whedon's stuff. I mean, he's always expressed an interest to do this kind of thing. He does love going to the silly and abnormal.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when it actually started off, he couldn't get the permission to do Once More With Feeling at first.
Right.
And he did that, if you remember that episode of Buffy where it's completely silent for about 20 odd minutes.
Oh yeah.
Which by far is the scariest bit of TV I've ever seen in my life.
My favourite episode of Buffy ever.
And he kind of used that as a platform for the network to make Once More With Feeling, kind of like, listen, if I can do 20 minutes of silence, why can't I do 45 of music?
What do we think of the characters?
Very...
Ooh.
I don't know. Dr. Horrible is the classic.
Yeah.
Nathan Fillion is Captain Hammer.
Yes.
To the point where you kind of wonder if it was going to be like a little bloggy thing, and then Nathan called up Joss and was just like, I'm really bored, give me something to do. Yeah. And he kind of steals the show, even though you really don't like him the whole way through.
No, exactly. I mean, it is the classic, nerd and the jock. It just brings to mind one of those crappy US sitcoms where, you know, the captain of the football team is always breaking the nerd's science experiments. You know, it's often due to the existence of the hero that the villains exist. You know, like Batman essentially created the Joker and things like that. So there's kind of that thing going on where it's like, because Captain Hammer has been a dick to Dr. Horrible so many times, he's become a supervillain and taken to a life of crime and decided to destroy the whole fabric of society.
One of the things I love about all the characters, which says a lot for the actors especially, and a lot for Joss's little ability to play on the tiny little things, is how we don't know anything about them, but we empathise with them so much. I think the only character who has like any kind of like time of this is the background behind this character is really Penny. And even then, it's kind of like, you know, it's a very generic story, but you get so much in Dr. Horrible's reactions. Also, we've got to talk quickly
go on.
about Moist.
Moist? Oh, Moist!
Would you do it? To get into the evil league of evil?
Look at me, man. I'm moist. At my most badass, I make people feel like they want to take a shower. I'm not ELA material.
Killing's not elegant or creative. It's not my style. I'm not gonna kill a little kid.
Smother an old lady.
Do I even know you?
It's brilliant. It's just a simple bit of comedy which works brilliantly. He always just pops up and it's laugh after laugh.
It's great, you know, it's just that whole idea again of kind of a character with superpowers, but the superpowers just aren't that impressive.
The groupies.
The groupies.
Every time they pop up, you can't help but snigger.
This is his hair.
It's just brilliant. It's just this nice little bit which is added in, adds so much texture to the universe.
They're just the three of them. I don't know, especially the Asian girl. I don't know any of their names, but the Asian girl, she just has that scary look in her eyes.
I'm obsessed.
Absolute obsession.
Also, tiny little bit of trivia as well while we're talking about people who appear in it. Marty Noxon, who wrote some of the best episodes of Buffy, who has just finished off a stint of Battlestar Galactica. She is one of the news readers. That's that.